Beech, 2-1 defeat to Altrincham today. After what is such an excellent performance, it must be difficult to take that sort of result.
It does feel a bit like that, and that's why when you are playing this well, that you've got to make sure that you do win games that we've had recently at home, because what it does, sometimes football evens out over time, but currently in terms of effort, performance and chances created, we should have more points, but we haven't got them. So yeah, for Altrincham I think probably from the games I've taken, I think that's the 8th league game, I'd say they're probably the second best footballing team we've played against, so every credit to them and the process, really, really good. But from a away performance, we had great control, opportunities to gain far more advantage in transitions, but we give the ball away in the middle, so it become a bit basketball-y instead of just regaining and retaining that pass. And again, we should score more goals today.
It seemed to draw a bit of comparison to the game against Gateshead. Two very similar sort of footballing sides. In a case of maybe frustrating them and hitting them on the counter, taking that goal really well from Connor, and then building on that into half time. Yeah,
I think, and we've got to take advantage of them moments that we have. But I think you're quite right, and I think within what we were doing today, it's great that we've got discipline now within the team, but we've got to go the extra yard to win the same race currently because of just where we are and the feeling of how it feels. So, you know, if we're all doing a 100-metre race, we've got to do 110 to win the same race. So we've got to continue to do that, because we did do that and gain advantage within that. Altrincham, fair play, they tried to keep going, but from an away perspective, it felt very much in control, yeah.
Like you say, it tended to turn into a bit of a basketball game, like say, particularly after the equaliser. There was the chance for Nick where it was blocked off the line. There were several that were flashed across the face, a goal that nearly ended up in the back of the net, and you couldn't really have complained. That would have ended up a 5-5 game, really.
No, you couldn't have complained if we won it. So, you know, from that perspective, yeah, but we didn't. So, you know, they have the special player. He scores the free kick that would win any sort of game outside the Premier League. And his second goal was right in the stanchion. There's obviously aspects of football that you can stop before that happens. You know, it's too easy to come inside us. We've got to get our foul count down. That's discipline and having the capability to run the extra yard instead of fouling. Because if you do that, which we did do in the first half, and see it through, you're gonna win more games. But as we tire, as you drop your guard a little bit, it's important to keep your hands up. And we're training that in. It has got better, hence why we're competitive against anybody. But to really start winning and winning consistently, got to keep that guard up.
Obviously, one player that came into the squad today, Dan Adstead, on loan from Cheltenham Town. Obviously, a player that you'll know well from your time at Rochdale. How big a player could he be for us in that short space of time? Obviously, he's got a big reputation.
Yeah, he'll be calm. He'll get on the football. He'll make us pass and play. He'll set things up. I mean, on Friday he scored 3 or 4 goals in the training we did when we did these waves of attacks. And the players coming off the pitch, I want to keep them on. We've got to try and when we get to the latter embers of rounds of boxing and football, we've got to find that fitness, and we're definitely fitter and we're definitely more collectively disciplined. But we can still improve that, and when you get to that aspect of doing that, yeah, we'll win a lot of games.
Is it just a case of fine-tuning potentially? Because you saw the chances that we had going forward. There were plenty of chances to get more than one goal, and it's just a case of narrowing the chances for the opposition, like we saw with the great goal for the second for Altrincham.
But from a squad perspective, we need more impetus and support to that starting 11 you've seen. So whether that's player content and change to that player content to give us that, or it's the players actually embodying this and making it better. So as a group of people, you're stronger collectively. So you make the changes, it's making the changes to support positive actions, and the players have to make sure they're part of that team and journey. And sometimes it's not quite united, but as a squad, and my intentions are for us to all be united, all be inclusive, and keep progressing forwards, because we are competitive. But I'll be honest, I don't like and do losing, and I'm really frustrated we've not won that game, or at least drawn it. And we've got to make sure that we start picking them points up.